What if you could sketch an idea for a room, just a quick drawing, and then, bam, see it instantly transformed into a photorealistic image? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. It's the incredible power of AI rendering. And this technology is totally changing the game for designers, for architects, really for anyone with a creative vision. So let's break down exactly how it works.
Okay, so take a good look. Can you spot the fake? One of these is a real photograph, and the other one was generated entirely by AI. It's getting really, really hard to tell the difference, right? And that unbelievable level of realism is exactly what we're going to dive into.
All right, so here's the plan. We'll start with what photorealism even is, then jump into why AI is such a massive game changer. After that, we'll break down the 4 key pillars that make these images look so real, walk through the super simple A to Z workflow, and then, finally, take a little peek into the future of rendering.
So, first things first, let's tackle that big question. What do we actually mean when we say photorealistic?
See, it's not just about making a pretty picture. It's way deeper than that. We're talking about simulating reality itself, actually calculating the physics of how light bounces around, how shadows should fall, how different textures look and feel, all to create an image that's pretty much indistinguishable from an actual photograph. Now, for decades, creating this kind of realism, it took a ton of time, a ton of money, and some serious expert-level skill. But AI is changing all of that, and honestly, the difference is just staggering.
I mean, this slide says it all, right? We are literally shifting from a workflow that could take days and required a highly skilled specialist to one that takes seconds and is open to pretty much anyone. This isn't just a small improvement, it is a complete revolution in creative speed.
So the AI advantage really boils down to 3 huge things. First, speed, which lets you try out idea after idea instantly. Then there's realism, thanks to an AI that's been trained on the actual physics of the real world. And finally, accessibility, which puts the power of high-end design into everybody's hands.
So, how does an AI do that? How does it create an image so real it can actually fool our eyes? Well, the secret lies in mastering 4 fundamental pillars of the physical world.
Yep, it all comes down to these 4 core principles of physics and photography. Let's break them down one by one, starting with what's probably the most important of all.
First up, and this one is absolutely crucial, lighting. The AI engine automatically calculates something called global illumination. Now, that's just a fancy term for how light bounces off of every single surface in a room, creating those soft, natural shadows that make a design feel like it's actually grounded in reality.
Pillar number 2 is materials. An AI that's been trained on what's called physically based rendering, or PBR standards, well, it just knows that wood isn't perfectly smooth and metal isn't perfectly shiny. It adds all those tiny imperfections, the grain, the subtle roughness, that make materials look authentic and helps you avoid that fake, plasticky look. You know the one.
Okay, third is context. A building doesn't just float in a black void, and the AI understands this instinctively. It automatically places your design in a believable environment, complete with realistic skies, landscaping, even atmospheric effects like a little bit of haze. It gives the whole thing a crucial layer of depth and believability.
And finally, number 4, composition. This is where the AI basically thinks like a photographer. It uses clever techniques like depth of field to subtly blur the background, which naturally draws your eye to the most important part of the design. It's a true artistic touch, completely automated. So, we've covered the theory, the how it works. Now let's get practical. How do you actually use this thing? Well, you're going to be surprised at how simple the workflow is.
It really just boils down to 4 simple steps. You pick your scene, you upload your starting point, and seriously, even a basic sketch will do. You give the AI a little bit of context with a prompt, and then you just click Generate. That's it. You can go from a simple line drawing to a jaw-dropping render in just a few seconds.
And hey, here's a pro tip that might actually surprise you. When you're writing those prompts for the AI, less is more. Seriously, forget about long, detailed paragraphs. The best way to guide the AI is with short, direct prompts that just focus on the most important keywords. It's also really critical to choose the right tool for the job. You know, whether you're starting with a rough sketch, maybe tweaking an existing photo, or rendering a super detailed 3D model, matching your input file to the correct AI module is the absolute key to getting the highest quality results.
Oh, and get this, because this is a real game changer. You don't always even need to write a prompt. In some cases, you can just select a predefined style, like Scandinavian or industrial, and the AI literally handles the rest. It's basically one-click photorealism.
Okay, so the speed and the quality we're seeing today are already just incredible. But, believe it or not, this is just the beginning. So where is all this technology headed?
You're going to want to keep an eye on three big things. First, we'll see this level of quality happening in a real time, like in a video game. Second, AI will start generating entire 3D models from just a simple text prompt. And third, we'll be able to create these ultra-precise digital twins of real-world objects and buildings, which is going to change design and construction forever.
So if there's one big takeaway from all this, it's simple. High-end visualization has finally been democratized. What used to be slow, crazy expensive, and exclusive is now fast, accessible, and stunningly realistic for everyone. This isn't just a cool trend, it's the new standard.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. When the barrier between your imagination and a perfectly photorealistic result is just a single click, what amazing things are we all going to build next?